episode 40, part 3 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the 3 Quarters Podcast. We'd like to start off by thanking our fans and followers for all your support. We wouldn't be here without you. And to remind you to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas. As you know, they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019. So the 3 Quarters Podcast is all about promoting sports and sports travel. And as a result, we partnered with Moron Sports Travel to give you this brilliant offer for the Dubai Sevens, which will be on the 1st and the 2nd of December. For only $999, you get to enjoy the full Dubai experience. That is your desert safaris, your nighttime barbecues, and also your Dow cruises. All this and much more coming up on your screen. I'm Demima Duffield.
This is Ngachi, official newsmaker.
Jerry Goose, Kenyana.
Now, in part 3, as usual, we talk about sports other than rugby. So we start off with the European football wrap-up.
Yep, of course, you had the Champions League happening in the course of last week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Then, of course, on Thursday, you had the Europa League. There was a team that was there. But anyway, Uefa Champions League results, Chelsea hammered a team called Karabakh or something like 6-0 FK. Man United beat Basel 3-0. Barcelona beat Juventus 3-0. Liverpool drew with Sevilla 2-2. Real Madrid beat Nicosia 3-0. And Tottenham Hotspurs beat Borussia Dortmund 3-1. Of course, we've just taken a look at some of the big results, the English clubs, and some of the big games that were played in week 1 of the UEFA Champions League.
Not surprising results. I'd maybe mention the Manchester United against Basel away, 3-0. That's a big win for them. Basel is not a walkover, as experienced by Arsenal. And then what shocked me was also the PSG result against Celtics. These are the guys who beat Barcelona before. 5-0. Wow.
But they beat Barcelona a long time ago. Wanyama was still at Celtics, so doesn't really count.
All right, now on to the Premier League wrap-up,
Yes.
2017-2018 season.
Yes. We had the first game of the weekend, that's week 5. Bournemouth beat Brighton 2-1. We had Crystal Palace lose to Southampton 1-0. We had West Brom beat West Ham, or rather, draw with West Ham 0-0. We had Watford lose to Manchester City 6-0. We had Tottenham Hotspurs draw with Swansea 0-0 at Wembley. We had Huddersfield draw with Leicester City 1-1. We had Liverpool draw with Burnley 1-1. We had Newcastle beat Stoke City 2-1. We had Chelsea draw with Arsenal 0-0 in the London Derby. And of course, Manchester United beating Everton 4-0.
Now, on to matters basketball.
Yeah.
The LA Lakers have stated that they will retire Kobe Bryant's jersey or jerseys on December the 18th. That is jersey number 8 and jersey number 24.
This is a first, I think, a player having both jerseys retired, the NBA. Not shocking that they're retiring Kobe Bryant's jersey, considering 20 years in the league, 5 championships, 3rd highest point scorer in the league ever. Twice finals MVP. This guy really deserves it. He's given us a show that guys would actually compare him to Jordan, I believe. And for some players, I think, rather fans who are quite younger, who never got to watch Jordan, they consider him the greatest of all time. And remember, what comes to mind is his last game. After 20 years of the NBA, the guy put up 60 points. That's how a legend can sign out. So Kobe deserves this, and I'm so glad that we got to watch him.
It's not the first time that 2 jerseys have been retired by one franchise for one player. So that in itself is no mean feat for Kobe Bryant. 9 NBA records, 19 Laker records. He wanted to be an LA Lakers. He always wanted to play for LA Lakers. Drafted number 13 by the Charlotte Hornets in '96. The person who was the general manager for LA Lakers at that time was actually the logo, Jerry West. And he traded for Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant has given us 20 years. He's never cheated us. We have enjoyed watching him for the last 20 years. And it's only right that I don't know why it took long though, because he retired at the end of the 2016 season, and he retired with another great, Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's jersey is already hanging in the rafters. I don't know why Lakers took that long to decide that Kobe's jersey needed to go up there. But yes, 10 people have their jerseys hanging at the Staples Center now. Previously, it used to be the Forum. Kobe Bryant deserved to be the 11th person.
Maybe it took a bit longer because usually the jerseys are retired after enshrinement to the Hall of Fame.
No. It's not that.
Lakers have done it before, yes, with like Shaquille O'Neal.
It's not really when.
A couple of other franchises.
It's not really when the Hall of Fame, because Kobe Bryant has another maybe 4 years before he's actually eligible to be enshrined in the Hall of Fame. So it doesn't happen. I mean, Michael Jordan's jersey was retired in 1993 when he took a break initially. So it doesn't wait for the Hall of Fame. It's just, that's a franchise decision to make. So I think it should have happened sooner, but look, we have it. It's happening, so that's good enough.
Now, just jumping in here, I'd like to ask both of you, which Kobe do you prefer? Kobe with, jersey number 8 or Kobe with jersey number 24?
I'd go with the more mature one, not the Afro. Kobe 24. Kobe 24 was great. You got to see the real Kobe, the more mature Kobe, and not living under anyone's shadow. Yeah.
What about you?
Same here, Kobe 24, because as Ngusa Sapli put it, he was more mature. He realized the mistakes he made, and more importantly, the team with which he played in his last 2 championships, in 2009 and 2010. I mean, Pau Gasol, Andrew Bynum, Derek Fisher. They weren't really like A-list team, but he was actually able to grind out against a very good Celtics team. So I'd go with Kobe 24 because he was more mature in the game, and his decision making was mature, for lack of a better word.
All right, so moving on to F1, we had the Singapore Grand Prix.
What a race that we had, man. Especially from the start. 3 cars were out. A whole team was already out before the first lap. Ferrari, Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen all sandwiched first stopped, and they all crashed out. Hamilton ended up winning. Daniel Ricciardo coming in second, and Valtteri Bottas coming in third. This has really put Hamilton on. It's created some space between him and Vettel. It's now 28 points. It's now up to Vettel to step up and hope for the worst to happen to Hamilton.
Maybe then they crash out.
That's gonna be hard. Yeah.
All right, so jumping into the bonus segment, and our first question is, who is the best fly half for you in the game today?
Yes. Best fly half. I'd mention maybe 3 guys that I've seen, then I can pick one. I'd mention Biden Barrett, playing for New Zealand, Owen Farrell, England, and Jonathan Sexton. In order, I'll go with Biden Barrett right now, currently, then Jonathan Sexton, and then maybe Owen Farrell.
For me, the only difference is in number 3. It's a debate between Owen Farrell and Dan Biggar of Wales. But I mean, because of, you see, Barrett's game has been exposed when he has a rush defense. He was exposed versus British and Irish Lions, and I think the second test versus Australia. I have my problems with Biden Barrett because of his kicking. It's not that good, and that's why personally I would go with Johnny Sexton, because I like how he gets his backline involved, and he's not always about breaking the line. He chooses when to break the line and when to get his backline involved. So I think the only reason why, I don't deny that he's an exceptional talent, that's Barrett, but I only think the reason why he's been having a very exemplary last 2 years is because, as I said in part 2, the other teams are crap just now.
Biden, funny that you mentioned that you have a problem with his kicking. I think the only thing that I'd fault him for, he kills Sonny Bill Williams' game. Yeah, Sonny Bill Williams loves playing with the ball at hand. It's sacking 2 or 3 defenders, offload it immediately. We saw in the last game against this crap team that is called a forward. You could see when he got the ball what he did. So, but all in all, I still give Biden Barrett the nod.
All right, and I'd just like you to continue by saying, who is the best fly half you have watched over the years?
That's a tough one. It's between 2, Johnny Wilkinson and Dan Carter. However, Dan Carter would take the edge. He'll win it, take the edge at Johnny Wilkinson, simply because of his attack play and how he can be creative with the ball out of nothing. Johnny Wilkinson, I think, is more of a center. Well, even Dan Carter right now is playing as a centre. But Johnny Wilkinson more of a centre. His defence was excellent, better than Carter's. Kicking was better than Carter's. I was about to say Kaka.
Well, we can see
Where it's coming in. John Wilkinson kicking was brilliant. Remember how he won England the World Cup in 2003. Dan Carter, his kicking is not bad, but not as good as Johnny Wilkinson. However, Carter edges him out in terms of his creativity and how he mans his backline. It's just exceptional. Yeah.
I think it's said everything I wanted to say about Dan Carter. Johnny Wilkinson, of course, the biggest thing about him is his defense, and I think he's a very good. I mean, his work ethic is on another level. For me, he would be the third person, just before Ronan O'Gara of Ireland. My number 2 person is the person I'd actually want to talk. My second best fly-half is Stephen Larkham. Played for Australia from about '96, and he left at the 2007 World Cup. He's so damn good to a point where there's a stand that has been named after him. In at the Canberra Stadium. It's called the Gregan Larkham stand. So of course, I mean, there was that partnership between him and George Gregan. But Stephen Larkham was I liked how he moved his backline, how he got his backline involved. He had a very electric backline, the likes of Tim Horan in '99, then Elton Flatley, Sterling Mortlock, Chris Latham, Joe Roth. He had a couple of good guys in the backline, but the way he got them into the game, whenever I watched All Blacks versus Australia and I saw Larkham's name, I knew we were in problems because of how much of a brilliant thinker he was. But the best fly-half I've watched, of course, is Dan Carter.
All right.
Yeah.
So now moving back to the local scene, and which, who you think is the best fly-half in the local scene before you guys start, looking at your Kanye Karangas and your Lavina Segers and, your Isaac Dimos. I will go to the women. And I will say the best fly-half I have seen since I started watching and playing rugby and went back to watching. But for the women is Doreen Ramore. And that is the reason I think she has been on the team since, back in the day till now. She started off as a winger. She's a strong, powerful runner. Definitely not lanky. She'd, knock you out any day. I have experienced that. Just the way she commands both the forwards and the backs, for me, just, I remember a game where she tackled someone and pulled her hair. And she got up and she's like, "Ref, ball nietu." And they got the ball. So yeah, who do you think?
I duel with the guys, the men. Number 1, I'd give Lavina Sego for playing his trade for Momba. Second would be Neto Simiyu, Resolution Health Impala Saracens. And then I think third, where I'm yet to see him end his career or get to his twilight years of his career, but I'd give a nod to Isaac Ademo. I'd go with Lavina Sego simply because he's a very intelligent flyer and mature as well. He's kicking for territory. Points not so much, but whenever it's for territory, controlling the game, pace of the game, manning his backs, Lavin has just been exceptional in the local scene, and we are yet to see the end of him. I think he still have that. I can give him 2 more years. Twilight, end of his career, yes, but Lavina Sego is my first choice. Neto Simiyu, entertaining, very entertaining. He's passing, creating something from nothing, a bit of cutter in him, a little bit. That's why coming second for me. Isaac Ademo has just been on off, but when he's brilliant, he can even surpass Lavin and Neto.
Well,
let's just wait and see.
Yeah, let's wait and see. What about you?
There's a special mention to Peter Ochola, former Lenana High School and Impala Saracens, fly half. My number 3, I'd put a tie between Isaac Ademo and Neto Simiyu. Isaac, I like him because of how he commands his play. Neto Simiyu is a line breaks he gives you in a game. He'll be giving you 4 or 5 line breaks. That's very good. Number 2, I'd put Lavina Sego. Because of, and especially for me, it's how he places his kickoffs, and he's not necessarily like territorial, but in terms of how he raises his his hand time on his ball is exceptional. But for me, the best person, the flyer I've watched who gets me going is Eden Aguero. And the good thing about Eden is that Eden can actually kick for points. Yes, and just I can't think of someone who passes the ball better than Eden at number 10. So for me, he's the person. I remember when he broke into the Queen's team, maybe about 2011. And he was fly off. It was very used to enjoy watching Queens play because of Eden. So yeah, that's my three.
All right. Well, as we know, if you don't have a fly half, you don't have a team.
You don't have a team.
Anyway, thanks, guys. Remember that you can follow us on Instagram, like our page on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Demima Duffield.
This is Nyashi, official noisemaker.
I'm Jerengus Kenyana.
See you next week for episode 41.